the glass slipped in my hand when I saw it. Gold frame soft lighting a crowd, pretending to understand it. My painting. I'd mixed those blues with my fingers when I was 6, sitting on a kitchen floor that smelled like turpentine and burnt toasty, signed the back with a crayon because I didn't know better secrete a child's truth. The price card beneath it read, $150,000. I remember my voice sounding too calm when I said it. Sir, that painting is mine. The gallery owner laughed not cruelly casually like I was part of the decor. Impossible. He didn't even look at me. He waved for security. 2 men in black suits. Moved before I could breathe, before I could explain, before I could tell him he'd forgotten to check the back of the canvas. As they walked me out, I caught my reflection in the glass Dorsa server in borrowed clotheshans, steady eyes clear. Good. I was right on schedule. I met Adrian 22 years earlier. When he told me my hands were too small to paint seriously, he said it gently, like advice, like concerny, loved him for it. That should have been my first warning. He was already in the art world, the not talented strategy. She knew how to talk, who to flatter. Where to standy was the opposite. I painted, because I had to, because silence scared me more than poverty. He promised partnership, marriage protection. I'll handle the business, he said. You handle the genius. I handed him my trust like a blank check. For years, it worked, or I thought it did me work. Soldier apartment, grew his suits, got better, me name got quieter. He said collectors preferred mystery. He said anonymity made art purer. He said my signature distracted from the piece. I believed, his belief is easier than doubt when love is involved. The betrayal didn't arrive loudly, never does. It came in small fractures. Invoices I hadn't approved. Contracts I wasn't allowed to read. A storage unit I wasn't given the key to. I noticed how he flinched when I asked about older pieces. Childhood worker relevant, he said, immature. One night, while he slept beside me, I used his fingerprint to unlock his phony guilty expected another woman. What I found was worse. Emails, archive shy resolution scans of my earliest paintings, documents, transferring ownership namely his name. He hadn't stolen one piece. He'd stolen my life's narrative. I closed the phony, didn't crying, would have wasted time, stared at the ceiling, and listened to his breathing, slow and confident, slept like a man who thought he'd won. That's when my mindset shifted. I didn't confront him, I documented him. I went quieter than usual. I smiled coquetty, let him believe I was shrinking. Meanwhile, I photographed every canvas he'd hidden. He copied every contract. I hired a lawyer who didn't ask questions. Just dates. He learned about provenance, authentication, resale law. I remembered something else too, something Adrian never cared about because it didn't profit. The backs of my childhood paintings. My mother used to make me write messages. There, so you remember? She'd say art forgets where it comes from. Crayon pencil sometimes, blood from a paper cut. Adrian never checked, never thought to. I planted information carefully, a whisper here, an anonymous tip. There I let the gallery circuit know a major retrospective was coming, Adrian's crowning achievement. I submitted applications under his name. He waited. And when the invitation arrived for that gallery opening, I applied as temporary staff. Minimum wage, black vest, champagne tray. Front row seat. Back in the present, security escorted me into the alley. Night air was cold. He thanked them. Always say, thank you, manners matter when you're patient. Inside, the gallery owner had already called. Adriani knew because my phone buzzed his name. 17 missed calls. I answered on the 18th. You embarrassed me, he hissed. Did I? I asked. You embarrassed yourself, you just don't know it yet. I hung up. 10 minutes later, the gallery floor shifted. He watched through the glass as the owner's smile died mid-conversation. A curator had turned the painting around. There it was. My handwriting, crooked, uneven, honest. If you're reading this, you stole me. Under it, my full name, birthday, Taya photograph reference. Only my mother and I knew enough to authenticate beyond doubt. The room filled with murmurs. Phones came out. Adrian arrived just in time to see his legacy rot in public. He saw me then standing outside still, holding a champagne tray. For the first time since I met him, he looked small. The confrontation was quiet. It always is when the truth finally has teeth. Inside, lawyers spoke, papers changed hands. The gallery owner apologized without meeting my eyes. Adrian didn't say a word. He didn't need to. His face confessed everything. I leaned in close as he passed me. "You should check the back," I said. That was the moment it broke. Him, not the loss of money, not the criminal charges, the realization that I'd outgrown him in silence. Weeks later, I signed new contracts. Me name in bold this time. Me childhood work returned to me. Documented, protected. Adrian disappeared from the circuit. People don't like men who mistake possession for talent. I still think about that night sometimes, the glass slipping, the laughter, the security hands on my arms. I don't feel anger anymore. Anger is loud and inefficient. What I feel is precision. I learned something important from betrayal. People who underestimate you rarely check the places that matter, like the back of a canvas or the quiet mind of someone they thought they owned.